You guys all ready for this? I know I am. So is Richard Hart a scammer? What's up with these pulse chain delays? Let's look into this. Okay, so back in January 1st of 2021, this is what I had to say about Richard Hart.
Thanks for that. So back to Hex. So Richard Hart is extremely smart, and he's been around the crypto space longer than I have. I've been around since 2013, and so a lot of the things that he talks about, he cites stuff from 2013, 2014, and it's pretty much spot on, and it's the same account that I had. It's the same realizations I made. It's the same account. He's very smart. He's very quick-witted, and he thought about this a lot with Hex, obviously, and he thought about every psychological trick in the book that gets people to buy into crypto. One of the biggest things I hate about crypto is that it's like, can we get like a real project that has like actual utility to it, that isn't about just getting a coin to earn more coins? If you look at so many projects, it's like, oh, well, now there's these staking rewards. Look at Ethereum. Obviously it's been a big, that's been a good selling piece. Like, okay, the beacon chain's coming out. Now you're going to be able to stake the Ethereum and earn more Ethereum. And so a lot of times I feel like the whole space is just that. It's get this coin to earn more of that same coin. But human psychology a lot of times doesn't change. The same tricks will work over and over and over again. So of course, when I look at that, it's like, well, I think people are going to chase this or that coin because it has high staking rewards. At this point, I look at Hex as something like Polkadot, or something like, the Ethereum beacon chain, or something like Zilliqa. I just consider it that on a very strong energy drink. And I think that not having its own chain and riding on Ethereum is both an advantage and a disadvantage.
So that's what I had to say January 1st of 2021. Fast forward, we're in 2022, September of 2022. So what's my assessment on Richard Hart? They've announced the Pulse chain. There's been a lot of delays, a lot of FUD in the community, a lot of people upset. We're in a bear market. Again, when you need money, everybody else needs money too. The tide goes out, you're swimming upstream, and it is very hard, even for a good project, to really succeed during the bear market price-wise. Now, development-wise, they can put the axe to the grindstone. They can keep working, keep doing these things, but people want that price appreciation. Where are we at with X? Boom. Up. Burn off. Very, very typical. That's not necessarily negative or positive. That's what it was. You're talking over 10,000% capital appreciation if you'd bought in. Now, the interesting thing about Hex is it actually did not participate in the early boom cycle that Bitcoin went up to around $64,000, and it really kind of participated in that second run up that we saw where Bitcoin went up to 69,000. So you see these September 2021 prices like 1 year ago, and then there were certain other things. So it had that capital appreciation there, that had the second little rally here, dead cat bounce kind of scenarios in December of 2021. So now we bled off. Volumes had to decrease. And the interesting thing about Hex is it's never been listed kind of large in part on major exchanges. Some exchange support, but mainly decentralized exchanges. Uniswap, obviously, it actually kind of made Uniswap popular in a way. So let's dive a little bit more into Richard Hart. So here's the website, richardhart.com. Interesting. Have an LED lit, looks like a Louis Vuitton bag. Richard Hart is a force for good in this world. In the man's own words. In the man's own words. He owns the world's largest cut diamond, $10 million in watches, and raised $27 million for medical research. He owns the quickest Ferrari ever made. Not the fastest Ferrari ever made. The quickest. And the most expensive Rolex ever made. He got $10 million in watches and $3 million in cars. With 145 IQ, he invented hex.com, which went up in price 10,000x. He gave over 500 million of free money to Bitcoiners. Created the world's largest free airdrop of coins through Pulsechain.com. He also called the Bitcoin top 2 cycles in a row. Now, let's assess what he just said there. Is there anything that I can call bullshit on? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Because I'll tell you what, let's go to this last thing. He called the Bitcoin top 2 cycles in a row. So in 2017, 2018, he was on a podcast. He was on a live stream with Ivan on Tech. And Ivan was like, man, the market dropped a lot. And he was like, yeah, that's the crash. This is the crash. And Ivan was disillusioned. And when Richard said that, because I'd been through the 2013, 2014 cycle. And when Richard said that in 2018, I knew it to be true. I knew that was what my feeling was. And that's what his instinct was as well. It was over. The music stopped. The party was over. Wherever you're at, it was 3 a.m. or it was 2 a.m. Whenever the bars closed, music stopped. That was it. So what he's saying there is true. Obviously, he flexes the watches. He flexes the cars. Enough said. Okay. Seems like he's telling the truth here. Let's go a little bit further. Wikipedia. Not Wikipedia. Wikipedia. So, Richard Hart, actual name, Richard Schuler, which, as a branding thing, I think it makes sense for him to do Richard Hart. A lot of you guys that are following me, you may not know. My actual name is Brian Williams. It's not Brian Phobos. Nobody has the surname Phobos. That's part of the reason I selected it. Phobos is the Greek god of fear. And I could get Phobos, Brian Phobos, on every platform. Brian Williams, there's 10,000 Brian Williamses in North America alone, not even including over in the UK or other places. There's probably a Brian Williams watching this video right now. So you have to brand yourself to a certain extent. So he was born in Pennsylvania, and basically he is launching the Pulsechain, whatever. There's not too much here besides stuff that, he's basically kind of like provided, essentially. So let's go to Twitter. Let's look at a video.
I'm also wearing my $1 million Bulgari Serpenti set here. This is what actually well-made, amazing, deflawless jewelry looks like. Yeah, check it out. Here you go. You like that? Yeah.
Pulsechain.
It's
Or
pretty
pulse
beautiful,
ring.
huh? Yep. Yeah. I figured flex videos are way cooler when you're wearing $2 million of jewelry, if you count the $1 million Rolex as jewelry, and a 700,000 euro brand new Rolls Royce. Ben Baller, you just got balled on, boy. You're nothing compared to me. Bring me your girl, dog. Let me get it. I'm also wearing my $1 million Bulgari Serpenti set.
Okay, Richard Hart likes to flex. Let's look at his Instagram, hex.com. Look at all the watches. And if you guys have seen his videos, these things rotate. It's crazy. You know, he bowls on another level. And it's kind of interesting. You kind of go back and it's like, when did this come from? Okay, September 18th, 2021. He's really kind of like removed a lot of the stuff. He's been very, very catered. 2021, same thing. 2021, he's really, really kind of like pared this down. It's very kind of like very, very filtered, and I mean, it definitely cracks me up, dude. You know, it's just,
Wow, look at that.
what is this? Let's look
the
at
biggest
it.
truck I've ever seen. What the fuck? Wow.
Dude, he looks like he's in Iceland.
You're driving the baddest monster truck you ever seen in your life. Most monster trucks, they got 2 wheels in the front that turn. This one's got 4. 4 54-inch wheels turning in the front. Another 4 in the back. This
That looks like a red. That looks like a red.
monster truck. Took 5 years to build. It's got a 6.6 liter single turbo diesel engine running 25 pounds of boost with a Allison 1000 gearbox 6-speed. This is a bad bitch. If the global zombie apocalypse or pandemic is coming to rain on your parade, this here will get you out of trouble. But it's not so good for getting McDonald's. It's really hard to get around, you know. It's good for bumping your head.
An expensive adventure, but a flex nonetheless. So let's keep going. He's flexing. There's beardless Richard Hart, Prada, shoes and bracelets, Rolex, watch, clean. So, you know, Richard, he's into the watches, he's into the luxury clothing and stuff like that's not necessarily what I'm into. I am into the cars. Richard is into the cars. And it's hilarious to me because Richard goes kind of over the top. You know, he was on Fresh and Fit, I guess, on the Fresh and Fit podcast, you know, popular in the manosphere, kind of red pill community. Kind of interesting here. Does a lot of crazy things. Flexes the jewelry, flexes the watches, you know, flexes the shoes, I guess. Let's see here. 15,000 fit, 9100 Prada jacket, Louis Vuitton, crystal shoes. You know, that's, for me, that's not like, I'm not necessarily into the jewelry and the watches. I'm into the cars. I'm into the experiences, the trips, this and that. He's got the Bentley. Got the Bentley. So, he likes cars. Cool. And let's just go on to, where did Richard Hart kind of come from? Where was the start of this whole thing? 2016, December 27th, 2016. Let's listen to it.
All right. So I don't really want to do a video about feminism. It seems stupid to me. I never even really run into it. I hear about it a lot on, podcasts, interviews of different types. It seems like the world is in a giant fit where, at least in the West, it's not fair to have a gender and it's not fair to be anything. You just have to be gray goo. If you're a man, you're part of the patriarchy. If you're a white man, you're part of the super patriarchy. If you're a black guy and you support Black Lives Matter, you're some kind of terrorist. You can't be anything these days. It's a little fucked up, right? So I'm going to try to ignore most of the retarded arguments the retarded people are making. And believe me, there's retarded people on the many different sides of the issue. Notice you want to think that there's two sides. There's not. There's a lot, and they're mostly wrong. So
let's go to hex.win. Let's see if it redirects to hex.com. Yeah, it does. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's my assessment on this is that somebody said, you know, hey, you should make videos back in 2016. And Hex wasn't a thing in 2016. He got involved in Bitcoin probably 2010, 2011, thereabouts, based on his videos, from my understanding. He solo mined, blocks himself for 50 Bitcoins. He was in early. He saw this. He's a smart guy. I feel like a lot of people put a pressure on him, like, dude, you should have a YouTube channel. You should have a YouTube channel. You're so smart. You can have this. And he felt slightly uncomfortable doing this. Originally, when I started videos, I felt uncomfortable. The Brian Phobos character was not kind of my first kind of forte into that. So by the time I got into making crypto-related videos, was kind of well after the fact, after I started making videos. And let's look at one of these first videos. Look, July 23rd, 2016. And even though we lived through this 2013, 2014 cycle, we did not feel like that it was worth making videos, because in 2013, the biggest YouTube channels out there only had like 10,000 subscribers. So it was like, okay, we feel like this is the future, but are you really going to kind of gain that much of a following, this and that? Things noted. Let's watch this.
What's up, steemit.com? Brian here. Just want to introduce myself real quick. It is July 23rd, 2016, and it is good to be on steemit.com. So, yeah, my name is Brian, and I just want to say hi. If you're new, welcome. And just want to talk a little bit about myself. Basically, I'm into sports, I'm into traveling.
So, well, we can see 2016, that's kind of when we both assessed that it was worth making kind of YouTube videos and garnering some sort of following. Pool looks great. Redid the title myself. Shout out to Arizona Archer and Phil the 3023 for helping me chip some of the old tile out. Should have had a pneumatic chisel, but didn't. So we hand chiseled that shit out, and there's weeds growing in the background. But whatever. Things aren't going to be perfect. This background isn't perfect. Don't have a green screen. And we keep going. So 1 like, and look who commented. The one comment 6 years ago, Craig Grant. It's great to hear good things and great things about Steem blockchain from crypto veteran like yourself. My confidence in Steem has just went up for sure. Craig Grant. Let's see what I think. Thanks, Craig. You for sure ahead of me as far as Steem goes. Steem it goes. Your videos have really helped me gain my footing on the platform. It's crazy because if you guys know the update on Craig Grant, he's thugging out in Jamaica, just farming, living off the land. Nobody knows where he is. The SEC's after him for the BitConnect toboggle back in the 2017-2018 cycle. So shit's crazy, guys. Shit is crazy. So that's that. So let's get back to Richard Hart, though. I feel like, he was making the videos. People were like, dude, you're too smart. You have to gain a following out here. You have to do this. And he was like, he had to pick his line over time, which is very interesting. Now, let's listen to a little bit of a, thing that he did with a debate on, several different people and everything with regards to Bitcoin.
Is because it's mathematically guaranteed supply increase. So all proof of work currencies inflate to secure their networks. Unfortunately, in the case of Bitcoin, the more popular it gets, the more value it gets, the more proof of waste you have to do to defend that value, the more the environment gets blown up. Now, 2/3 of that energy is renewable, but guess what? When you suck up all the renewable energy, then the guys, like, they just had to turn off all the mining in Texas because the grid was full. And then the Bitcoin guys are like celebrating, like, hey, we turned our machines off. What good citizens we are. And you're like, bro, if you wouldn't have them on, you wouldn't have to turn them off. It's like having to borrow your lawnmower back from your neighbor. You lend your lawnmower to your neighbor, and he's had it so long that now you have to beg him to get it back. And it's just the same thing with electricity, you know? And if they would stop blowing up the environment, they would stop murdering the price. Because we know proof of stake systems work, or you'd see them getting hacked all the time. They never get hacked. The networks that have all these bugs that I'm telling you about were like Ravencoin, for instance. A hacker minted 10% of the Ravencoin supply at once from an inflation bug and dumped it on exchange. So proof of work systems are extremely buggy, and they're not buggy from the perspective that they need more hash rate. They're buggy from the perspective of software bugs. And software bugs are a function of attack surface. And the more spaghetti code you have, and the less modularity you have, and the less isolation you have, the more of these huge, like, world-ending bugs you're going to get. So, you know, when they minted 6 billion extra Bitcoin by accident in 2010, they just rolled the chain back and were like, oops, we'll just pretend it didn't happen. That guy that minted the 6 billion extra, we're just not going to give it to him.
So everything that Richard Hart says is true. I agree with him. And I don't watch every one of Richard Hart's live streams. I don't watch every one of his videos. But every time I do, I'm like, yeah, in general, that is true. That is true. That is the account that I felt in 2013, 2015, 2018, 2022. You know, like, it's always like, I agree. This is all coming from someone who owns 0 hex. I don't own any hex right now, guys. Now, is right now a good time to buy hex? And I would say yeah, because we've went up and we've burnt off. And this might long tail out for months and months and months, maybe a year. Maybe some excitement comes down to it. Pumps, volumes go up, burns off, volumes go down. You reaccumulate. You accumulate. You accumulate. You accumulate. How many hexagons are there? A lot. How many pulse chainers are there? How many people have sacrificed into the pulse chain? A lot. The pulse chain will come out. The pulse chain will come out. I don't think that Richard Hart is going to like disappear. Hex stakes average 38% return a year. And you know what impresses me actually with this? Before this said 40 essentially. 40%. They've changed this to make sure it's congruent with the averages that they're seeing. 38% now. Which would make sense. We're in a bear market. 38% returns a year. Average 38%. That's a lot. Promoting the pulse chain. The website looks good. They've got support. They were able to put this on NASCAR just like Dogecoin. The Dogecoin has been able to do this a couple times. And the situation with Dogecoin that they were doing that is it was just community members just decided that they were going to do that. It wasn't a crowdfunding thing. They just did it. So I like the color scheme. I like everything that has been done. 11,500%. Hex price went up 11,500%. That was an ad. They pumped this. They weren't saying anything that was false. They just told the truth. Dogecoin went up 20,000% in 1 year. Hex 11,500% in a year. Now, those who took positions, took the risk, and timed it right, ended up in a very, very good position. I like this site, hex.com. I don't own any hex, guys. I don't own any Pulse. I did not sacrifice to the Pulse chain. Now, am I watching it? Is it in the back of my mind? Absolutely. During this bear market, there's going to be major accumulation for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for BNB, for Dogecoin, for Litecoin, for Monero, and then there's going to be a small percentage put towards other projects. One I'm looking at, Hex. Doing a little bit of trading on the Doge chain, on KuCoin for the Doge chain. Seeing what's going on with it. Hex.com, looking at it. Pulse chain, looking at it, keeping up to date, kind of seeing what's going on. I think this is majorly what you should do. But Richard Hart's main assessment with the whole thing, when you go back to this, and he destroyed a bunch of broke experts live. What did he promote? He did not promote Hex. He promoted Ethereum. And as much as I don't want to admit it, because if you guys were watching me a couple years ago, I felt that the EOS.IO software had a lot of potential, and it did. And there was a great community, and Block 1 screwed us over, unfortunately. And when it boiled down to it, Ethereum had the right kind of like magic sauce that Ethereum was going to go forward in solidity as a programming language in this whole EVM chain thing. You know, as far as like Ethereum compatibility became a big thing for Solana, Avalanche, Phantom, Harmony One, so on and so forth. That became a major thing, and that Ethereum was the right kind of like equation, and that it was going to go forward. And the EOS.IO software, unfortunately, Block 1 just scammed everybody just to stack Bitcoins for themselves, unfortunately. And, you know, other projects have done the same thing. And Richard Hart has called out a lot of these projects that have taken your keys, But the rotation has kind of gone out of Bitcoin. Not saying that you can't make money with Bitcoin. There's still an opportunity in Bitcoin, but it is not as great of an opportunity as there is in some of the other chains, capital appreciation wise. So I do look forward to the Pulse chain. Do I think that Richard Hart is a scammer? Actually, he's played this very well. He's played it very well. He got into this early, and he has taken on a great risk, to be quite honest with you. He's been in the forefront. I mean, he has like an LED lit Louis Vuitton bag that he's stepping out of this car, and the dude looks like he has a red one or like some kind of red camera, like literally like high-end video equipment, and then he's taking a picture that's being taken of him getting out of this bag. He's taking on great risk, because we've seen people that have came to the forefront, they've been put under quite a microscope, and he's taken on a great risk. And you know, at the end of the day, with Hex, could the SEC come after him? That's a big question. Could the SEC come after him? Absolutely, they could come after anybody. Obviously, they came after XRP. That's this ongoing thing. There's other like rumors come out that they think that like Stellar Lumens is a security, all this kind of stuff. This kind of BS, all this noise. They're trying to hold crypto back. They see it as a threat. They want to like justify their existence. Very hard. EOS that I mentioned earlier, Block 1, they got sued had to settle for like $16 million. There's all these like little settlements going on. Like that's how they fund themselves, all this kind of stuff. Are they going to come after Richard Hart? Maybe. I think it's interesting that with the BitConnect thing, they went after Craig Grant and Trayvon James for like pitching these securities. And in their defense, how would they know? How would they know? They didn't create those products. And while I didn't think they should be pitching them, I don't think that they should be getting sued by the SEC for pitching unlicensed security. How would they know? So then they have to defend themselves and all this kind of stuff. So it's like they're on the run, which is, I'll tell you what, guys, like the crypto space is like full of excitement, to say the least. So at the end of the day, in conclusion, I think you should trust Richard Hart. I own 0 hex. I have not sacrificed to the Pulse chain. Keep this in mind, guys. When you invest in crypto, there's 1,000. Let me reemphasize that. There's an infinite amount of ways to earn money in crypto. Just because I'm saying that, hey, I don't think Richard Hart's a scammer. I think this guy's going to deliver. If allowed to deliver, he will deliver. That being said, whether I invest or I don't invest doesn't necessarily cloud my judgment. That's why when you look at my channel, I have like 3.5 thousand subscribers. Let's look. I'm losing subscribers. Again, it's a bear market. Let's see here. Damn it. Where is it? Jesus. 3.54 thousand subscribers. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have as many subscribers as BitBoy. And BitBoy was, what was he doing? He was pitching you guys, what did he do? He pitched you guys $27,000 Ethereum. And what did I say? What did I say? Let's go back to this. $93,000 Ethereum.
What's up, guys? Brian here. And we have hit all-time highs with Ethereum. Most people would consider that we have hit all-time highs. It wicked up to like 1440 on Binance. I know on some exchanges, or maybe if you play out some averages or something like that, some people are saying, we didn't really hit an all-time high. I kind of consider we did.
Let's skip forward.
When you're doing that and you're literally, you'll see a thumbnail from a YouTuber saying $20,000 Ethereum, and you're literally taking the amount of Ethereum that you have and multiplying that by whatever ridiculous price prediction they made. It's just not rooted in reality. Now, oftentimes in a bull market, things will go higher than expected, or it'll go longer. It'll go on longer than you expect. That is a real thing. But I think if you exercise some prudence, and guys, look back at my videos, go back to December 11th of 2018, and look at some of the times where I bought crypto, and look at some of the prices that I got. So you have to understand there's a lot of people that were, let's say, buying at the lower prices and stuff like that. And so you might be like pretty far into the money. And if you lose sight of kind of that, you maybe are up, you can kind of spoil it for yourself and hold on too long. And then when you come down the other side, it can sometimes come down faster than you went up. And then you've just lost it all, and then you're on suicide watch. So, keep that in mind. You're better off kind of feathering out earlier than you are like holding on to the very end and then getting burned by the situation. Another thing too is you move to maybe more conservative strategies, and it's almost like you mortgage the Bitcoin to buy a house. You have to work on this to get it. And I know someone's going to say, oh, it's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. Yeah, I've been in crypto since 2013. Everything's just around the corner. Everything's going to be the killer app that's going to come out. And you're just thinking, what happened to this stuff? Remember, anybody that's been around for a long time, remember Open Bazaar? It was going to like kill eBay. Everybody was going to be like buying stuff. It's going to be this huge market, that was going to like destroy eBay. We were going to have fees. And we're going to use Bitcoin on there. And it's like, what happened to that? And I mean, I can name 20 or 30 or 50 projects, 100 projects that are, I feel the same way about. So anyway, guys, that's the price predictions. You know, stay conservative. Like when everything's collapsing, I literally had people saying that I was throwing my money away back in 2018. And those were people in crypto that had been in crypto and rode the thing up and were salty. When it was coming down, they thought I was throwing my money away. All this and that. But again, weird turn of events. Suddenly Ethereum is my largest holdings. Yeah, I certainly do hope it blows past 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, all that kind of stuff. But I don't really, I can't sit here and just be daydreaming about $10,000 or $20,000 Ethereum. Let's just say that. To stay level-headed, rather cut out a little early, take the win, be conservative, than get burned on the other end. So anyway, guys, what do you guys think? How high is it going to go?
January 21st, 2021. But I don't get that many subscribers. I don't get the BitBoy level subscribers because I don't say $27,000 Ethereum. I keep people in check. I splash cold water on your face. I keep you in check. So, is Richard Hart a scammer? No, he isn't. He just gave you over 10,000x. Give you 10,000x. And guess what? He gave a lot of that for free through the airdrop system. Bitcoin holders got hex. Now, what happened with my situation? I tried to claim it. Hey, it wasn't working in Brave browser. I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. And then whatever. And then I didn't claim it. This and that. I retook that same position that I would have had later on through Hotbit. Traded in and out. Was riding the waves. Decided to get out. Greener pastures. As I said, Hex did not pump really in that first boom that was in early 2021. March 2021, Dogecoin was banging. April 2021, Dogecoin was banging. Hex wasn't. I wasn't in that. But then I missed this late rally on Hex. But that's fine, guys. You missed it once. You got an opportunity to go into it again, because when it goes up once, the probability it goes up again is higher. There's confirmation. So even if you anticipate it's going to go half as high, let's say it's going to go to 25 or it's going to go to 30 cents, there's a high probability because people are looking for it to get up to these all-time highs or to beat these old all-time highs. So going back to the original question, is this guy a scammer? Let's look at another video.
So let's keep a running total of everything this dum-dum's got wrong so far. 1, he thinks I'm not good with the ladies. That's hilarious, dog. Bring your girl to me. I'll show you what a real man does. 2, he doesn't know what the SF90 is faster than, even though I guess he's buying one. Well, I've already bought one. I've already run it at the track. I've already beat it. I've already done everything you can do to it on the track. Done burnouts in it. Whatever you're talking about, I already did it. It's all on video. Okay. So go to thehighestofstakes.com. You can watch some of the preview videos, because the documentary about me and my life is done. They're just slapping the 40-piece orchestra soundtrack on it now. Anyway, so he doesn't know that the SF9 is faster than 765. He doesn't know that it's faster than the Senna. He doesn't know what the most expensive Rolex in the world is. He doesn't know they own both of the 2 most expensive Rolexes ever sold from the factory, right? Like if you like buying old crap that's small 36 millimeter trash that you're overpaying for, you can go buy old 36 millimeter Rolex Daytonas for a lot more, like Paul Newman's, etc. I have no interest in those. I like the big ones. Yeah, I'm not overpaying for someone else's.
So Richard Hart has a certain taste. He's into certain things, into jewelry. He's into the fast cars. He's into this and that. Some people find him abrasive and stuff like that. I find it hilarious. Hey, I'm not going to be able to flex out with him from the close perspective. I'll shop at Ross. I'll shop at Marshall's. I'm not trying to flex with Richard Hart on the clothing thing. As far as the crypto goes, this guy knows. His account is spot on from everything I've experienced since 2013. He's been in longer than I have been. And everything he says is very calculated, very analytical, and this guy knows. And this is coming from someone with 0 hex, and I did not sacrifice anything to the Pulse chain. But I'm watching. I am watching. That being said, are you guys invested in Hex? Are you invested in Pulse Chain? What do you guys think of Richard Hart? Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos. YouTube, Instagram, Steemit, Hive, Twitter, DTube, Blurt. See you guys later.